Okay, we're at gotomath.com. Click on the algebra. Let's go down to linear equations. Now you'll see over here where it says linear equations, and in this section here we're going to work a little bit more difficult. Linear equations, okay? Alright, maybe a little more complex. Plus we do things like state definitions. Alright. Okay, so this section is over. I'll go ahead and spell it out for you. Linear equations and finding the solutions to linear equations. I mean, that's basically what we're going to be doing. All right. So a linear equation in standard form looks like this. All right, once we get it in standard form where a is not equal to 0, and we would say that a and b are elements of R. If I can get that to right there, elements, that's kind of an E there. Element represents A and B are elements of R, the set R. R are the real numbers. Now X here is a variable, obviously, that we normally want to solve for, and of course X also is a real number. Okay. Alright, so that's the form. It's in standard form, right? So we would say that this is a linear equation, or we'd also call this a first degree equation, in one variable, and that would be the one variable here, X. Right, the one variable X. So there you go. Alright. Okay. Let's now work an example. We'll put 1.1 right down here. Alright. Okay, so let's say that we have this equation. And we want to solve for X in this equation. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and get it in this form right here. Okay. So let's first off, let's go ahead and distribute this 3 across. So we have 3x plus 6 is equal to 6x minus 36. Alright. So we want a, this coefficient here, to get it in this form, we want a to be positive. Right, and that means that I'm going to be taking this 3x over to the right hand side because this coefficient is larger. And we'll go ahead and take the 6 over also. So we have minus 36 minus 6. Right. So this is going to end up being 3x minus what is that, 42? Alright, so as you can see here, this is the standard form where a is 3 and b, of course, actually would be negative 42, but we're writing minus 42 here. Alright, that's the standard form that we want to get this in, even though this is written differently where the 0 is over on the right hand side and we got the 0 over on the left. It doesn't matter, right? We can switch this around. Okay, so there's the standard form. Now there's no reason why when solving for X here that we should actually get it in standard form. I just did this to kind of show you this is the form here that we were looking for. Alright, because normally at this point right here I would go ahead and take the 3x over to the right and then the minus 36 over to the left. Okay, so that means we're going to take the 42 over. That makes that a positive 42. Now remember, when I say take this over to the left, really what's going on here is we're adding 42 to both sides. All right. And then of course we have 3x, and I say take the 3 diagonally down, but that's the same thing as, multiplying 1/3 to both sides, because technically that's what's going on here. And I'm just going to go ahead and write it right here. So x is equal to 42. My pen is having some issues this morning. I guess it needs its coffee or something. Okay, so we end up with 42 over 3. 42 over 3. And of course, that actually reduces down to 14. Now we could say that the solution set is the set that contains 14 if we wanted to write it this way. Okay, so that's the solution to this equation up here. Now, in a previous section, we went through to check that. You want to make sure that you take your solutions and plug them in and make sure they actually are solutions and they're not extraneous solutions, or it may be no solution, right? May not have any solutions. So you want to make sure that you do that, and that means that by plugging 14 in, right, into the original equation, we get 14, 15, 16. Then we'd end up with 16 times 3. 14 minus 6 is, what is that, 8? 6 is 48. What did I say? 40, 15, 16. Let's see, 1, 8, 48. Okay. Anyway, so you want to really check this every time you end up with a possible solution here. I want to go through and check to make sure that is a solution. Alright, so we're over here at gotomath.com. We are solving linear equations, and I'll see you in the next problem.